Controversy. Court grants Dr. Sarah Birete bail in data privacy case, while experts call for integration of mental health in peace-building frameworks. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakoni joins us for sign language interpretation. The Supreme Court has dismissed an application by National Peasants Party presidential petitioner, presidential candidate Robert Kasibante, in which he sought to amend an earlier application aimed at compelling the Electoral Commission and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to disclose key electoral documents and grant access to electronic voting and tallying systems used in the January 15th, 2026 presidential election. Court dismissed the application on grounds that it is operating under strict constitutional timelines, noting that the Supreme Court has only 45 days within which to dispose of a presidential election petition, which began running from the date the petition was filed.
9 justices of the Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice Dr. Flavian Nzaija, are presiding over the presidential election petition filed by Robert Kasibante. Other justices on the panel include Justice Pasen Knight Tuhaise, Michael Chibita, Elizabeth Musoke, Justice Stephen Musota, Christopher Madrama, Justice Monica Mujenyi, Catherine Bamgemereire, and Justice Muzamiru Mutangula Chibedi. Kasibante, through his legal team, has earlier asked court to allow him to amend the application, seeking permission to discover evidence from the Electoral Commission, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the Attorney General, which he says is necessary to support his petition.
National Tally Center. Now, the process of transmission of those results, we want to find out certain things to compare the results as tallied at the National Tally Center and the results as declared at polling stations.
For another number of days, which the court must provide, if it allows, this application, for a new application to be filed, for responses to be made, and then for hearing of the application, will disappear.
It will not be proper for this court to allow the party to do what I may term as providing another cause of action in a matter where there is none.
The main application is totally out of its space within the rules and the law, but this application for an adjournment is most undesirable. We pray that this court does be pleased to dismiss the application for the adjournment.
However, court ruled that due to the strict timelines governing the hearing of presidential petitions, allowing the amendments would delay the process, and the application was consequently dismissed.
It has been decided by the court unanimously that the application for adjournment be dismissed, and that we shall then proceed to hear the main application.
In the proposed amendments, Kasibante sought orders compelling the Electoral Commission and President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to disclose key electoral documents and grant access to electronic voting and tallying system used during the election. He further wants court to order President Museveni to make discovery on oath of all documents in his possession relating to elections, including a complete list of all polling stations and certified copies of declaration of results forms from every polling station. Kasibante also sought access to the back-end infrastructure of the biometric voter verification system and the electronic result transmission and dissemination system and the tallying system used by the Electoral Commission at the National Tally Center in Lubowa. After a brief adjournment of 10 minutes, court directed all parties to hold a conference and agree on a joint schedule memorandum.
You are going to file a joint scheduling memorandum, but if you are filing that joint scheduling memorandum, you will also file the submissions in the application. So the respondent should file the response on 1st of February, which is Sunday. So if you have any rejoinder to the submissions in the application, you file them on 2nd. So on that day, that's when we shall give you directions on how we proceed with the petition.
After court, lawyer representing the petitioner addressed the media, explaining the implications of the dismissed application.
And then, of course, the whole purpose of this hearing is to arrive at a just and fair decision. That's why we've put in this.
In his main petition, Robert Kasivante is seeking the Supreme Court to nullify the election of the National Resistance Movement's General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's victory, citing alleged electoral irregularities, voter bribery, involvement of security operatives in the electoral process, and failure to conduct the election in accordance with the electoral laws, among other grounds. The petitioner, Robert Kasivante, personally attended court. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nansubuga, UBC News.
It was a moment of joy at Buganda Road Magistrates Court as the Executive Director of the Center for Constitutional Governance, Dr. Sarah Birete, was released on bail under stringent conditions. Birete was granted bail of 1 million shillings cash with non-cash sureties of 10 million shillings each.
The Executive Director of Center for Constitutional Governance, Dr. Sarah Birete, reappeared at Buganda Road Magistrates Court to hear a bail ruling. At Buganda Road Court, Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko said Sarah Birete faces 1 count of unlawfully obtaining or disclosure of personal data contrary to Section 35(1) and 2 of the Data Protection and Privacy Act Cap 97. In delivering her ruling, Magistrate Winnie Nancha Jatiko ordered the release of Dr. Sarah Birete on bail of 1 million shillings cash and non-cash to 4 sureties of 10 million shillings, citing the substantial sureties have been presented to court.
Having found that the applicant has satisfied all the relevant requirements for the grant of bail, such as provisions of Article 23(6) of the Constitution, the right to apply for bail, presumption of innocence until proven guilty, proof of a fixed place of abode, presentation of 4 substantial sureties of social standing, and there being no likelihood of interfering with investigations and witnesses, the application for bail is allowed in the following terms. The applicant is granted a cash bail in the sum of Uganda shillings 1 million. The sureties shall be bound in the amount of Uganda shillings 10 million each, not cash. The accused is not to leave the country without leave of this court. Your passport should be deposited with the court as a condition precedent.
Birete, who expressed joy after being granted bail, was however given stringent bail conditions, including the requirement to deposit her passport with court. Court has also ordered the prosecution to disclose all the intended evidence against Birete to enable her adequately prepare her defense.
That, of course, for us is something that we take in stride. We're very honored and happy for the accused, of course, because she, as we had presented, is a mother of 3 children. She is an ED of a very big organization that, of course, is in civil society work. That, of course, means a lot, especially in light of the political environment within which we are still in this election period.
Dr. Sarah Birete was ordered to return to court on 27 February 2026 for hearing of the case.
She speaks not only for herself or for her organization, but for all of us. So therefore, I decided that I would become her surety. Amen. And I told God the other day when I was praying for Sarah, that Lord, actually I'm not the surety. You are the surety.
It is done. It is finished. Yesterday, we believed it was done. We see the prayer in the blood of Jesus. And today, you were there. Oh, you were there. Come on, and what else do I say? I want to say we are going to visit the rest of these people, those in prison, those in hospital, and the rest. You know, we are there for them.
In the case against Birete, prosecution alleges that her and others still at large between January and December 2025 at various places within Uganda, including Kampala, Mukono, unlawfully obtained or disclosed the personal data namely national voters' information, controlled or processed by the Electoral Commission without prior consent of the Commission. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
The Chief Magistrate of Moroto, James Opio, has dismissed an application seeking a recount of electoral results from 7 polling stations in Bokora East County, Napak District. Former independent Bokora East contestant Joseph Lomonyanga had filed the application for a vote recount, citing that some of his polling agents did not sign the declaration forms and that in some polling stations the number of votes exceeded the number of registered voters, among other concerns.
On 16th January 2026, the Napak District Returning Officer, J. Angela Lokutai, announced the NRM flag bearer and incumbent Member of Parliament for Bokora East County, Napaka District, Peter Ken Lochap, as the winner of the parliamentary race with 8,177 votes against 7,613 votes. However, former independent Bokora East County contestant Joseph Lomonyanga, through his lawyers Atiga and Company Advocates, filed an application seeking a recount of votes from 7 polling stations. He cited irregularities, including instances where votes exceeded the number of voters and failure by some of his polling agents to sign declaration forms. The Moroto and Nakapiripit Chief Magistrate dismissed the application for a recount with no costs awarded.
My view that the application should be dismissed. And the nature of this application not grant cost between the main party to cutting this own cost. I was not satisfied and
The court ruled that it could not retire the results since the Napak District Electoral Commission offices
because now justice has prepared. I thought I would not overcome all the stamping has been actually in Napak. We find so stamp and that can fail service delivery. So I'm appealing to them that let's unite now and we start working together.
Meanwhile, Lomonyanga expressed dissatisfaction with court's ruling.
I believe the people of Napak gave me this mandate, much as the court has not done it the way I expected. Not lost anything. It's the people of Bokora who have lost.
The NRM, I beg your pardon, the financing of water and electricity docket remains key priority if the National Development Plan 4 is to achieve results. The Budget Committee of Parliament has taken notice of the shortfalls in the financing of these critical areas as presented by the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources Chairperson Herbert Ariko. This follows scrutiny of the National Budget Framework Paper, which is going on in Parliament.
The push for universal electricity access and energy growth continues to hit funding roadblocks. The efforts to connect rural areas to the national grid and key hydropower projects are stalled due to lack of funds.
Many of our colleagues are probably not carrying DR forms declaring them as duly elected members of Parliament. One of the most critical aspects where people got indicted was the failed rural electrification projects.
The chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Environment and Natural Resources, Herbert Ariko, informed the MPs on the Budget Committee that over 330 billion shillings is needed to tackle the rural electrification backlog as communities remain without power, limiting economic growth. Ariko adds that some contractors are unpaid and projects are stalled.
At our end, as Natural Resources Committee, we were able to inform the Minister when we interfaced over the BFP that probably the institutions such as REA might have been a better place, because rural electrification is something that is largely driven in a projectized way. It is difficult to run it as a service. It is better run as a projectized activity.
About 105 billion is required to fast-track the additional developments on several priority hydropower dams, including Kiba, Anyago, and Oriang, to secure up to 7,396 megawatts of energy. Another area of concern was the water for production infrastructure and irrigation development, which demands 94 billion. National Water and Sewage Corporation is in a shortfall of 90 billion funding for water supply expansion to 33 priority towns.
A case in point is the Karuma Water Project of National Water, which is going to provide up to 30 million liters of water, cubic meters of water per day. That is a very huge volume of water.
This has been further crippled by the outstanding government arrears totaling to 69.4 billion, which National Water and Sewage Corporation has not received from 40 MDAs as of December 2025.
There is also the wicked creditworthiness due to non-payment of bills by government entities. So these are the issues that have curtailed National Water in getting their own funding to help us develop water infrastructure in the country.
It is also noted that the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, requires specialized monitoring equipment and operation of vehicles to ensure environmental compliance as Uganda eyes reaping from the commercial oil production.
Mr. Chairman, as we go into commercial oil production, we must also ensure that the regulator on sustainable environmental use is able to safeguard the livelihood of our people.
As Parliament resumes this Thursday, funding constraints remain the center of discussion in the fulfillment of the National Development Plan 4 objectives. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
They did away with the whole.
Salim Uhuru has won the Kampala Central Division mayoral seat, defeating Moses Katabu of the National Unity Platform. The declaration of results for Kampala's mayoral divisions is still underway at Nakawa Makerere University Business School MUBS.
Mayoral candidates, councillors, their agents and supporters spent the night at Nakawa MUBS grounds awaiting the declaration of results. Heavy security presence, including police and army personnel, have been deployed to contain the situation in case of any chaos. Kampala has got 5 divisions, that is Kawempe, Central, Nakawa, Makindye and Lubaga. At exactly 3:38 p.m., the returning officer for Kampala, that is Jennifer Chobutunji, declared Salim Uhuru as the mayor-elect for Kampala Central Division, with over 32,000 votes trouncing his closest challenger, Moses Katabu of NUP, who garnered just 90,090 votes.
Victory is not my victory. I want to thank the Almighty God. The people have spoken. The people have spoken, and that's why you see the turn-up was extremely high. The number of votes is 32,500.
769.
Almost 33,000. It's a very big margin. That shows the people have entrusted Salim Uhuru as the mayor, Kampala Central Division.
It's only service delivery which people need. It's not other issue. Apart from NRM and other things, we are NRM councillors, we are NRM cadres, but we know we are going to work with each and every person in Kampala district.
Olwaleero bantumbuddemu abatuuze bange ab'e Nakaserofo ne bantwala mbeere kansala wa Nakaserofo era mbasuubiza nti mbadde luli ku level eya wansi kati nyimuseemu.
Meanwhile, a heated contest continues in Kawempe Division, where incumbent Mayor Emmanuel Serunjeji is battling to reclaim his seat against NRM's Farouk Bolime, who is seeking to flip the division to yellow. Since morning, chaos and shouting have dominated the grounds, with each candidate claiming victory and accusing the other of doctoring results to deny them a win.
NRM e Kawempe yawangudde akawulu kayo ku bwa meeya naye nammwe abakulu mu NRM temuvuddeyo kuyamba muntu wamwe yawangudde kalulu. Ekyo kimu. Security temunnavaayo kuyamba. Lwaki ssaawa zino oba opposition gwenkubya akalulu atandika okukutana aba EC n'agenda ne batandika okufuna ekisawo ky'essente nga bali mu ezo. Omuntu eyakalondebwa ku balodi meya kw'otadde Joel Ssennyonyi abantu ge bali beesiga nti opposition leader bwe baba nga bebenyigira mu bintu by'enguzi tebaddamu kwogera ku gavumenti ya President Museveni.
I won with a big margin of more than 20,000 votes. And to my surprise, when I reached here, the person I contested with, instead of conceding defeat, he was also here claiming a victory. And I say, with a margin of 20,000 votes, where are you going to get those?
In Nakawa division, provisional results still place Noops Ali Buchan in the lead, ahead of incumbent Paul Mugambe, an independent candidate, and NRM's Susan Zawedi. In Lubaga division, Zake Mberaze remains in the lead, while Fabrice Rulinda has reclaimed Entebbe municipality mayoral seat. While in Chira municipality, Alani Bulamu is the mayor-elect. Crispus Arinitwe, Mike Bakabulindi, UBC News.
Now, in news coming in, the Uganda People's Defence Forces, through its Defence Forces Council Electoral College, has today elected 10 military representatives for the upcoming term of Parliament 2026-2031. The UPDF, in accordance with the Constitution and the Parliamentary Elections Act, is one of the special interest groups represented in Parliament of Uganda. The others are district or city women representatives, workers representatives, youth representatives, and persons with disabilities. The Electoral Commission, led by Chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama, presided over the election exercise held at the Land Forces headquarters in Bombo Luwero district. The Electoral Commission returning officer for the voting exercise, Diana Kateba Tumusime, announced the winning candidates after the tedious tallying process. The newly elected UPDF representatives in Parliament now are Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, Deputy CDF, Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma, Deputy Coordinator, Operation Wealth Creation, Lieutenant General James Mujira, MD NEC, Major General Henry Masiko, Joint Staff Political Commissar, Major General James Chinalwa, Joint Staff Human Resource Management, Major General Joseph Semwanga, Deputy Commander, Land Forces, Major General David Gonyi, Chief of Staff, Air Force, Colonel Knight Ikiriza, female, SFC, Colonel Sylvia Meme, female, military police, Colonel Christine Nekesa, female, Air Force. The UPDF who have just elected their representative to Parliament. Now, the NRM Central Executive Committee has moved early to endorse Speaker Anita Among and her Deputy Thomas Tayebwa for leadership of the 12th Parliament. Party insiders and analysts say the move is aimed at preventing internal divisions and avoiding a repeat of the bruising 2021 speakership contest that nearly split the ruling party. With reports that senior party loyalists and government officials were eyeing the same positions, questions remain. Is the early endorsement about stability or control?
For the NRM Central Executive Committee, Anita Among and Thomas Tayebwa are the preferred candidates for Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The endorsement has effectively shut down internal competition before it could take shape. This follows reports that Lydia Wanyoto, Jacob Obotho-Both, and Norbert Mao had been mentioned as possible contenders. Analysts say the party acted swiftly to avoid a repeat of 2021, when then Speaker Rebecca Kadaga lost to late Jacob Olanya in a contest that exposed some divisions within NRM.
I, Jacob Lokori Olanya,
at the time, President Yoweri Museveni intervened, personally calling NRM MPs to back Oulanyah, the party's flag bearer, a move that secured victory but left political scars.
But there was a very, very strong Oulanyah faction and a very strong Kadaga faction. Talk to them by phone. But also, I met a few today in the morning. They all agree. Many of them agreed. I don't think it was everybody, but many agreed in a very short time to support the official candidate.
This time, the party appears determined not to let history repeat itself.
The Central Executive Committee of the party has endorsed these people. So whoever comes, you become you become transverse. You are outside of the system.
Political analysts and newly elected NRM MP for Kabweri County, Dr. Patrick Wakida, says the endorsement sends a clear message of direction and discipline.
I think it's in order for somebody to be a speaker for 2 terms. They have said that precedence before. So we must maintain that. The Honorable Right Kadaga, the Right Honorable Kadaga was there for 2 terms. Sekandi was there for 2 terms. And Anita can run for 2 terms.
Dr. Wakida adds that the move allows new MPs to focus on learning parliamentary procedure and reflects lessons learned from past internal contests.
It will reduce some of the atrocities that happen out of competition. And I can ably declare that I will support the speaker, the current speaker, without any hesitation. I have not found any reason why I will not support her.
As Parliament prepares to convene, NRM's early endorsement may have closed the door on internal competition, but reopened debate on whether consensus strengthens democracy. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, throughout the election exercise, several concerns on the electoral organization and malpractice have risen. In observation of the broad-day ballot stuffing in the presence of electoral polling officials and law enforcement bodies, the Electoral Commission Director of Communications and Corporate Affairs, Julius Muchunguzi, has joined the bandwagon with an appeal to the public to file complaints electoral malpractices back with empirical evidence against the perpetrators.
Why is it in Africa it is not working? It's not only Uganda. Look at all the countries all around us. Democracy is war.
Article 61 of the Constitution mandates the Electoral Commission to organize, conduct and supervise elections and referenda. It is supposed to ensure that regular, free and fair elections are held. In the wake of the preparations of the 2026 general elections, the need to procure voter verification biometric machines to do away with ballot stuffing and identification of registered voters was key to the need to hold a free and fair election. However, a growing concern has risen regarding the overall organization of the process. The BVVK machines failed to function in the presidential and parliamentary elections due to the technical glitches, forcing officials to rely on manual registers to facilitate the process. This in turn posed a challenge as the exercise was affected in certain polling stations due to untimely availability of manual voter registers. Candidates who participated in the presidential and parliamentary elections also raised concerns about voter intimidation and late opening of polling stations.
All my supporters did not turn up because threatening violence and then the police, this police doing nothing about it.
First I expected a free and fair election, but now I'm beginning to wonder when the Electoral Commission chooses not to cooperate, they come late.
Captain Francis Babu, a former member of parliament, says there is a need to review the entire democratic process of the country.
Time has come for you to start questioning. These Western models we are copying, are they okay? Or do we need to modify them? Do we need to look at our own culture? Because their democracy came out of their culture. Do we need to look at our culture and look at their democracy also and mix them so that we get something that suits us?
He states that we have adopted a system we may not fully understand.
We are adopting somebody else's model. And therefore, we have not given our people enough civic education. And civic education does not mean voters' education. It means generally, how do we behave towards an election? What is an election?
However, the Electoral Commission suggests for a unified contribution by all respective stakeholders in order to achieve a free and fair election.
A free, fair, credible, transparent election is a function of all the stakeholders that are involved in that electoral process. Political parties have to play their role. Candidates must act in accordance with the laws. Police must ensure that the electoral laws are complied with by everybody and that there is no lawlessness and disorder.
In regards to electoral malpractices like ballot stuffing and rigging, the spokesperson of the Commission, Dr. Julius Muchunguzi, urged the public to report all perpetrators of electoral malpractices to avoid undermining the integrity of the process.
If anybody is caught with any sensitive electoral material meant to be used for voting at any time, those ones should straight away be handled or reported to police to begin investigation. That is why it is very critical that the agents of candidates who are seated around the polling station should be able to say, this person has already come to vote.
However, at the center of malpractices are electoral polling officials and law enforcement bodies who, in one way or the other, accept to be compromised by politicians, either knowingly or unknowingly. Muchunguzi acknowledges that the biggest problem of the Electoral Commission are stakeholders who play to the gallery and remain non-cooperative.
Acts of stakeholders, people who don't want to follow rules, whether they are candidates, they are agents, or they are supporters. That has been one of the biggest challenges of actors refusing deliberately to play by the rules, to follow the rules.
Pauline Omayet, UBC.
Masaka City's division mayoral elections ended with a split verdict, but the National Resistance Movement emerged with a clear upper hand where it matters most, the councils. The National Unity Platform claimed the Nyendo Mukungwe division mayoral seat, while NRM struck back by winning Chimanya Kabonera, one of the city's most politically competitive divisions.
Beyond the mayoral contests, NRM tightened its grip on division councils across Masaka, securing the majority of council seats and strengthening its control of local decision-making. The ruling party dominated Chimanya Kabonera councils and posted strong gains in Nyendo Mukungwe, outpacing opposition parties. Nyendo Mukungwe Division Mayor Ronald Kasekende said his leadership would serve all residents. Councillors from both sides pledged cooperation as political tensions lingered with a legal challenge to parts of the electoral process.
Kwebaza bannanyendo Mukungwe olw'obululu obungi bwe banjiiridde oba bwe bannonze ŋŋenda baweereza nga bwe twatandika ne mbasuubiza nti katutemye evvuunika erisooka ŋŋenda kutandika ŋŋenda kuweereza nga meeya wa division ekibuga kyaffe ekibadde ekikyafu ŋŋenda kutandika n'okukigogola n'okukirongoosa okulanga mbayolera kasasiro, ŋŋenda okubakolera enguudo, ŋŋenda okuziteega, ŋŋenda kukola enguudo nammwe mwewuunye mugambe nti abaasooka bulijjo bakola ki.
I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded UnisTMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
We thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Uganda has strengthened its diplomatic ties with the Caribbean nation of Grenada following the official recognition of a new honorary consul. The development is expected to boost bilateral relations, trade and consular cooperation between the two countries. Samali Namboze submitted her credentials to the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, at the Foreign Affairs headquarters in Kampala.
The Honorary Consul of Grenada to Uganda has officially submitted her credentials to the State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs offices in Kampala. The submission of credentials formally authorizes the consul to perform consular duties on behalf of Grenada in the host country.
Well done.
Welcoming the new envoy, Minister Okello Oryem said the appointment will strengthen bilateral relations between Uganda and Grenada.
You're expected to represent Grenada holistically, promote Grenada, defend Grenada, and do everything in the interests of Grenada. And more importantly, your role will be to strengthen and consolidate the relationship between Uganda and Grenada. Grenada is one of the Caribbean islands.
Oryem adds that Uganda gains a new ally on the international scene, pledging government support to the newly established consular office.
There are times when countries like Grenada are also members of the Security Council and elected members of the Security Council, and they're also very useful if we have a strong relationship with them, they can represent us on many fronts.
The appointment of Samali as Honorary Consul of Grenada in Uganda brings opportunities for exchange programs in the hospitality industry, opportunities in tourism, trade, and most importantly, facilitating direct flights to the Caribbean from the African continent without passing through the United States of America and Canada.
But we all know how hard getting those visas is at the moment. The good thing is Africa is partnering with the Caribbean countries to have a direct line, an airline coming from Africa to the Caribbean, so we can easily access those countries from now onwards.
Uganda is now one of the highest foreign earning for Uganda is tourism. So we might be able to get some experience, and hope that this is a learning experience for us to be able to learn from the Caribbeans how we can promote and encourage more tourism in Uganda.
The Grenada Consul in Uganda serves as Grenada's local representative, providing consular assistance and strengthening links between the two countries, while full diplomatic affairs remain under Grenada's accredited ambassador. Ivan Kahwa, UBC.
Green Africa Youth Organization is taking the lead in reshaping how young people engage with agriculture and climate action. During a two-day training at La Grande Hotel in Kampala, radio broadcast journalists were equipped with innovative skills to amplify youth listenership through creative storytelling on circular regenerative agriculture. According to Gaio Uganda National Director Isaac Ndiamohaki, this approach offers a powerful solution to youth employment, climate change, and sustainable food systems by promoting low-input, resource-efficient, and environmentally restorative farming practices.
Is one of the youngest nations in the world, with more than 75% of its population under the age of 30. Many young people continue to shy away from agriculture, viewing it as outdated, risky, and unprofitable, even as climate change and food insecurity intensify.
There is so much young people can do. Things to do with post-harvest handling, from marketing, to even participating in the practical work. It is not just about digging, it is just about being creative in the sector, and then we maximize benefit out of it.
To change this narrative, Green Africa Youth Organization Uganda has embarked on training radio broadcast journalists to creatively package circular regenerative agriculture and related policies into engaging youth-centered radio programs. The training focuses on storytelling, simplifying policy language, and interactive formats that speak directly to young audiences.
We understand there is a gap that messages tailored to agriculture receive minimal listenership from young people. Reason being that some of these programs are not packaged well, or some of these programs are not well elaborated and they are not youth friendly, and that's why most youth tune out.
Speaking during the training, Mweruka Pascal, senior team leader at Greenleaf Enterprise Farm Radio International, said collaboration with youth through radio will help reposition agriculture as a viable and attractive livelihood.
We want to pave ways, create awareness on how even the youth can engage in agriculture other than going to the gardens or to the farms to do the practical digging or farming. But there are other channels youth can be engaged in crop production or animal production.
Participants shared personal experiences of using radio to connect with youth, emphasizing that relatable voice and real-life stories can inspire young people to embrace climate-smart agriculture as a pathway to jobs, resilience, and sustainability.
Our radios and any media stations can give much airtime to farmers and also to experts in agriculture. It can motivate more youth.
The Executive Director, Kampala Capital City Authority, Sharif Abuzaichi, has carried out an inspection of ongoing road construction works in the city, expressing concern over delays, poor drainage and sanitation challenges that affect several areas in Central Division especially.
The KCCA inspection of roads in Central Division began at Lower Corridor Terrace Road, where asphalt laying is currently underway.
And some auxiliary works remain to be done, like completion of the drainages, walkways, and adding lights where they should be.
The Executive Director, Sharif Abuzeki, later moved with a team of engineers and contractors to inspect works on areas Nkoyoyo Road, Church Road, Church Lane, and Nava Road.
We have been trying to see what is happening on the ground, the challenges that the contractor is having, and how we can enable us to get speeded up.
Several of these inspected areas were found to be in poor condition, with open culverts, blocked drainage channels, open sewers, and unbearable stench.
The challenges arising from illegal connections of sewage that have impacted on the quality of the works.
Uncontrolled dumping of rubbish by residents has further compounded the problem, with waste flowing freely on the unfinished roads due to poor drainage.
We'll need to support the communities with our contacts in the National Water and Sewage Corporations as well as NEMA to relocate the sewer lines, and then so that we can avoid direct discharge in the storm drain.
DOT Services Limited, the project contractors, were questioned by the Executive Director, who appeared dissatisfied with the work done.
We'll have issues of the forward maintenance by the contractor, but we have put sufficient pressure on the contractor, and we think that this will be solved.
Other roads inspected, including Nampera Road and Kabakas Lake Road, are part of a wider 14.6-kilometer road construction and upgrade project being implemented by KCCA. Cayenne Faith, reporting for UBC.
Leaders of the National Unity Platform, led by the party Secretary General Lewis Rubongoya, have visited prisoners at Chitalia Government Prison, including the party's Deputy President for Buganda Region, Muwanga Chivumbi, and other inmates whom the party says are detained on politically motivated charges. The delegation, which included NUP lawyers led by Counsel Sam Muyizi, engaged with the prisoners to assess their welfare and legal status. After the visit, the leaders conveyed messages from the party leadership, including the NUP Deputy President, reaffirming their commitment to pursue all lawful avenues to secure the release of prisoners they say are being held for political reasons.
Team National Unity Platform nga tulimu bakulembeze b'ekibiina wabula ne bannamateeka b'ekibiina tuze kulaba Deputy President waffe Honorable Muhammad Muwanga Chivumbi wamu n'abasibe abakandaalidde wano mu kkomera okumala ebbanga era bonna ne tubalaba. We've seen them, they are very strong despite the ongoing persecution. Honorable Muwanga Chivumbi expected this because he knew for sure that he won the election. He's very strong. He knows that this is not prosecution, it is persecution, and he has instructed our legal team together with other lawyers to get in touch with other lawyers to do everything possible to fight for his rights, but also the rights of other political prisoners. We've also seen the Machete Group and others who have been here for 5 years now, and they're also strong. We are taking on legal challenges on their behalf and doing everything possible to defend their rights.
Former European Parliament legislator and also renowned author and environmentalist Stanley Johnson has applauded Uganda for its deliberate effort towards promotion of youth in sports. This was during his visit to the Lugazi Hills and Country Golf Club that was followed by a tour of Madvani Group's Kakila Sugar Works and Ginger Sailing Club.
Isn't this fantastic? This is Mr. Johnson, this is Mr. Sharma, the regional director. Well, I'm very happy.
Renowned author and environmentalist Stanley Johnson has continued his tour of Uganda with visits to Lugazi and Ginger. At Lugazi, he interacted with the leadership and was impressed by the work done by Lugazi Hills Golf and Country Club that is tutoring hundreds of youngsters into the sport.
I must say, one of the most touching experiences I've had today was to go to the Lugazi Golf Club, and what did I see there? I saw kids, some as young as 5, children of the people who work on the estate there, and what they're doing as part of the benefits which the state provides, they're learning to play golf. I watched them hit the ball. They hit the ball better than I could do, I can tell you, and I tried twice. More or less got one, and it dribbled along the grass. Well, this has been a fascinating example of how people are all coming together. The workers, the employers, the environmentalists, and the social affairs people. And the outcome is superb.
He later went to the Madivani Group's establishments at Kakira and toured the facility that prides in production of high-quality sugar while employing more than 120,000 people.
This has been an extraordinary day. I've come here to Kakira, a place which has been in the Madivani family for decades. Yes, they had to leave at the time of the Idi Amin disaster, but they're back, reconstructed. We're talking here of 60,000 hectares, extraordinary production of sugar, extraordinary production, by the way, of fantastic wines, fantastic liqueurs. And I've got to say, I'm going home with a bottle of Kingsman whiskey, which I think is absolutely different.
He ended the day with a visit to Ginger Sailing Club and an exhilarating trip on both Lake Victoria and River Nile.
H.M. Stanley was here. You know, Murchison was here. For me, it's a very moving moment. And thank you very much, Captain Joseph. You told us everything we needed to know.
The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has unveiled the 8th edition of the Student Scholarship Program, an initiative designed to support exceptional graduates aiming to join the professional accounting field. Since its inception in 2019, the program has supported 70 beneficiaries across the country, strengthening Uganda's human resource base in accountancy.
Sponsor, of course, the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, and there is no other additional sponsor outside that.
The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has officially launched the 2026 scholarship cohort, unveiled by ICAPAO President CPA Timothy Ediom, alongside the scholarship committee at Sky's Hotel in Nagulu.
Yeah, congratulations to all of you, and we wish you the very best on this journey. I hope in 3 years I'll be seeing all of you at graduation. Please stay the course. Nothing is easy in life, and the harder things give better reward. Just notice around you, whatever is difficult to get always rewards handsomely.
CPA Ediom announced that the 8th cohort will award 10 fully funded scholarships covering registration, annual subscription, examination fees, and all required study materials for the CPA course.
We'll proceed to the moment we have been waiting for, unveiling the 7th cohort.
The Business Development Manager at the Institute, Lydia Tusime, emphasized that the scholarship is open to all graduates from any field, as long as they hold a bachelor's degree from a public university or a private chartered institution accredited by the National Council for Higher Education.
When the beneficiaries finish the course, they are able to enroll for membership, and usually call this long-term marriage. You're in this for the long haul, and there's no looking back. After your studies, you join membership, and then you become part of us.
From the Education and Research Committee, CPA Salome Senyonga outlined the academic requirements. Guest speaker and reigning Young Accountant of the Year, CPA Stephen Mucherule, encouraged aspiring applicants to invest in proper planning, discipline, and consistent preparation to excel in the rigorous CPA examinations.
So it is about consistency. It is about the determination to be able to progress through this course. You need to understand the journey. How many papers are there? How many levels are there? By this
Applications for the 8th cohort close on 31st March 2026, with successful applicants expected to complete the CPA course within 2.5 years. Past beneficiaries including Emily Namwan of Cohort 2 and Anthony Tumwebas of Cohort 4, shared inspiring testimonies on how the scholarship transformed their professional journeys, reaffirming ICAPAO's commitment to nurturing young accounting talent. The event also celebrated the academic achievements of the 10 graduates of Cohort 7, now showcased as role models for the next generation of scholarship hopefuls.
Most importantly, from the first day when they come, spend significant time on the learning outcomes.
An elderly man in Mukono district is breathing a sigh of relief after receiving a new permanent home thanks to support from Timely God-led Club International, a faith-based charity organization.
78-year-old Serada Farasko Musisi, a resident of Bugolombe village in Intenjeru, Kisoga County, had been living in a severely dilapidated house that posed a serious risk to his life, especially during the rainy season. Having lived alone for many years following separation from his wife, Serada recently appealed to local leaders for help, saying his house was on the verge of collapse.
I was worried the house might fall on me. Whenever it rained, I couldn't sleep. But I'm thankful to these people who have built me a house.
His appeal caught the attention of Timely God-led Club International, a charity organization led by pastors Emmanuel and Brenda Binaisa, who stepped in to construct a permanent house.
We decided to change his life by building for him a brand new house, and the house is now standing and handed over to him.
He's been sleeping in that poor house in a terrible situation. The house might fall on him at any time, but God has enabled us to build him a house. Pastor Emmanuel Binaisa says the project was supported by the organization's patron, Bishop Robert Kayongo, based in the United States.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Bishop Robert Kayongo and Revival Power Ministries from California. Thank you, partners who have stood with us to see that this man and his life changes.
The love of God compels us to love. Because in these days, it's very important to preach a practical message.
Mukono Resident District Commissioner Hajat Ndisaba Fatuma commended Timely God-led Club International for its continued charitable work.
But they've constructed such a beautiful house for him in liaison with a friend from America.
Timely God-led Club International focuses on supporting the elderly persons with disabilities, the sick and other vulnerable groups, with the aim of restoring dignity and hope.
Welcome home to entertainment. To Wi-Fi everywhere. To high-speed internet. To security. To first-class support. To convenience. Welcome home to MTN WakaNet, superior internet for every home. Visit www.mtn.co.ug/WakaNet. Welcome home. Together, we are unstoppable.
Oh, baby change.
Mommy is sick again.
We need money for the hospital.
Bambi.
Chijakugwa.
Chale.
Chigwa, chigwa, chigwa. Chigwera kuwendi.
From your hands abroad to their hearts at home, send and receive money with Wendy in partnership with Western Union. Download the Wendy app on Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to send, receive, and pay your bills at the lowest cost.
Happy birthday to you, Mommy.
Wendy Wonawoli.
The Ministry
Ministry of Works and Transport, in collaboration with the Uganda Police Force, is rolling out the mandatory motor vehicle inspection services as one of the interventions to improve road safety, protect the environment, and safeguard the health and well-being of the public. The key items for inspection are the braking system, suspension system, the lighting system, the exhaust emissions, and the general mechanical conditions of the vehicles, among others. The exercise has commenced for all government vehicles, public service vehicles PSVs operating on fixed routes with route charts, private omnibuses PMOs, tourist vehicles, and those as may be referred by the Uganda Police Force in a dangerous mechanical condition. Other categories including private vehicles, light omnibuses, taxis, trucks and motorcycles will begin on a date to be communicated by the Minister of Works and Transport. The vehicle inspection centers are Kawanda on Bombo Road and Namamve on Jinja Road for motorcycles, light and heavy vehicles, Nabingo on Masaka Road and Namulanda on Entebbe Road for motorcycles and light vehicles. Mbale, Gulu and Bara inspection centers are for all categories of vehicles. The inspection fees have been significantly reduced to ensure compliance. Get your vehicles ready for inspection. Safer vehicles, safer road users, safer journeys. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Works and Transport.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Uganda is steadily building capacity to confront climate change even as millions of households continue to rely on charcoal, a fuel that is cheap to access, increasingly expensive to use, and dangerous to both health and environment. In Mbale City, a newly commissioned LPG facility is being presented as part of the country's broader transition towards cleaner energy and climate resilience.
Access, but increase. For many households, cooking fuel remains one of the least discussed drivers of environmental degradation. Charcoal and firewood are still widely used across the country. They are relatively easy to access, but increasingly costly for households, and come with hidden dangers: indoor air pollution, respiratory illness, deforestation, and rising carbon emissions. In Mbale City, Eastern Uganda, authorities and private investors say the solution lies in building alternatives, not overnight, but through long-term infrastructure. The commissioning of the new liquefied petroleum gas filling and storage plant marks a step in that direction. Officials said the facility is designed to bring clean cooking fuel closer to households, schools, hospitals, and small businesses, reducing reliance on charcoal while strengthening supply and safety.
Honored to join you today to commission the new liquefied petroleum gas filling and storage plant in Mbale City. This factory represents a landmark investment for Mbale and the Eastern Uganda region, advancing access to clean, modern, safe energy solutions for our communities.
The impact of firewood and the impact of charcoal to our environment, to especially our mothers and our sisters, the time they spend cooking, the fumes they're taking, and the health hazards that come with that. So I'm not going to repeat.
Fire safety is a growing concern in Uganda's rapidly expanding urban centers, often worsened by dense settlements and the use of unsafe cooking fuels. Developers of the plant say it has already supported the emergency response during a recent industrial fire.
Vivo Energy Uganda is proud to be a part.
Yes, in the world of business, Stanbic Bank has unveiled... Oh, I beg your pardon. Now, we'll go straight to the sports news as we wind up with the bulletin. All is set for the fourth Discovery Uganda run scheduled for Kapchora this weekend. It is powered by Jacob Kiplimo and organized by Rosa Associates with funding from Nike. It will start with the off-road trail run this Friday and conclude on Saturday with the road race, in which thousands are expected with excellence by to be rewarded with cash prizes.
One thing I'm very happy is to see that Jacob Kiplimo was able to win. One thing I'm very happy is to see that Jacob Kiplimo was able to win the World Cross Country 3 times consecutively. And that one gives us a very great opportunity when we're going to now speak about Discover Uganda. Now, Discover Uganda is an activity or a run that is conducted in Kapchura every January. And this time around, it is coming on 30th and then the 1st January. And this Discover Run is powered by Jacob Kiplimo Gimsiri. And now we are expecting a great turnout of many athletes coming to run that race. And there is a lot of money that will be won. It is about, we've got about 30 million prize to be won by the athletes. And we are really expecting that there is going to be a big turnout for the athletes. Like last year, we had a team coming from Kenya. We had even some athletes come from Ethiopia. And we believe this time now it is going to grow bigger than what we were last year. So we are urging every Ugandan, wherever you are, you know, Jacob is a man that is doing great for his country in the world of athletics. And in most cases, we have not seen many partners or friends coming to say, can we support this young man in this noble cause of Discover Uganda? So I am speaking it out. If there are brand ambassadors or institutions and organizations that are interested to come and partner with us, it will be so great to see that we have certain partners coming in. Last time I had our brother Tukume from Western Uganda who organizes the coffee run in Tungamu. When I shared with him about the beauty of Discover Uganda, he was like, yes, we can do all that together because they are also doing that run in the Western Uganda and we can do it also in Sebela because this is all about to celebrate the achievements that our government has done in ensuring that everything is running up well. So I just urge Ugandans, please let us be in Discover Uganda. Media houses help us publish this program of Discover Uganda.
Yes, I've been asked for a repeat of the names of the UPDF Army officers that have been elected to represent the Army in Parliament. Number 1 is Lieutenant General Sam Okiding, Deputy CDF. Second is Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma, Deputy Coordinator Operation Wealth Creation. Lieutenant General James Mujira, Managing Director NEC. Major General Henry Masiko, Joint Staff Political Commissar. Major General James Chinalwa, Joint Staff Human Resource Management. Major General Joseph Semwanga, Deputy Commander Land Forces. Brigadier General David Gonyi, Chief of Staff Air Force. Colonel Knight Ikiriza, female, from SFC. Colonel Sylvia Meme, female, from Military Police. Colonel Christine Nekesa, female, from the Air Force. Those are the UPDF representatives to Parliament. I congratulate Brigadier General David Gonyi, my former classmate at university, and wish him all the best, and all the officers. That is all we had for you tonight. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni and the whole team. We wish you the best of the night. We have Behind the Headlines at 10 p.m. So as Newsroom, we close it here.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go low.
can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kupei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Starting with 100,000 shillings, you begin building real financial strength. Because wealth doesn't just happen, you build it. And the ones who start early end up ahead. Every deposit, every month, every little increase. This is how your money grows into wealth. Put your money to work with the experts at SBG Securities. Partner with us today on your investment journey.
SBG Securities. Keep growing for you, for them, forever.
This is our home, our land, our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
Unisteel Investment Uganda Limited, shaping the future of steel in East Africa and beyond. With an investment of over $100 million and a production capacity of 300,000 metric tons per annum, Unisteel is setting new standards in steel manufacturing. At our state-of-art facility, we produce TMX rebars, branded Unis TMX 500 CWR, and high-quality wire rods using only imported virgin steel billets. Every batch is tested and tracked for unmatched quality assurance. Our steel powers the region's most ambitious projects, from dams, skyscrapers, to bridges and beyond. Unisteel, superior quality, trustworthy choice.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Super Soul Sisters. My name is Jamila Oluka and you're watching UBC Live, Inspiring Uganda. We are here at Dotash where you can find all this beautiful furniture. And also I want to tell you that Super Soul Sisters is the only program in Uganda where we find that sisters, when I talk about sisters, I mean ladies come here and share with you their stories, stories that you've not heard from anywhere else. I mean, when we talk about Super Soul Sisters, we're talking about sisterhood, stories that will inspire other ladies out there, stories that will evoke your empathy, stories that will interest you, stories that will be part of. So today, on this particular day, we have one of the most known lady in Uganda. I know that later on some of you may be acquainted with her, some of you know her, and she is one of the sisters that I believe her story is worth sharing here on UBC TV. She is one and only Nantongo Deborah, and I'll welcome her to the show. Nantongo, you're most welcome to Super Soul Sisters.
Thank you for having me. It's such an honor. Thank you so much.
Yes, Nantongo, I see you looking so vibrant, so flamboyant.